Hello, this is Todd Luck, and this is an unpackaging and review of the Gashapon Zords for Ninninger, which is the equivalent of Power Rangers Ninja Steel in America. And these are little toys that come out of vending machines in Japan, and I bought them, got them imported for about 15 bucks for the whole Zord fleet here for the main Zords, and I'm going to take a look at them. But first, I wanted to let you know why I got these. So I'm a big fan of the Zord fleet for this season. I really love them, but unfortunately they haven't really translated very well into the toys. So for instance, on Robo Red, he's not a full action figure. He has very limited articulation, and he has this fist that is sculpted in between his legs. It's just permanently stuck there. And it just looks really weird, and I really love Robo Red, and I really would like a fully articulated Robo Red. I mean, I love a fully articulated dragon as well, because he looks cool, but has very limited articulation. And a hand sticking out of his butt as well. And the Zord and the Kodiak Zord is one of my favorites, and I love how he moves on the show, but here he can just tilt up his head. He still looks cute as all get out in the American version, but that's it. I really would love to see him articulated. And unfortunately, I mean, the Japanese Zords are really great. They run right now for twice as much as the American, but they have the exact same issues I just pointed out. So they would do absolutely nothing to help with the issues that I have with the Zords in toy form. And there are alternatives to the regular Zords. These are Power Rangers armor figures, and they have a articulated Robo Red, which is missing some paint apps, but otherwise is a really cool figure. And then Blue Dragon here is articulated and really cool, but unfortunately missing his wings. But there's nothing for the Kodiak Zord or any of the other Zords. There's also a $60 version of Robo Red that's articulated in Japan, but that's a pretty high price to pay for one Zord. And that brings me to these. These are another alternative from Japan, and I'm going to be trying them out. Let's open it up and see what it's like. So basically just cut the packaging opens. It comes in these little compartments, requires a little bit of assembly. So let me get everything out here. And one more leg. Little bit of assembly, not a whole lot though. Okay, pop them in. And all right, pops right in. All right, I think he's in. All right, so his legs bend, elbows, arms. So, I mean, this is a fully articulated figure right down to the feet. Legs can even spread. Arms don't spread out too much, but they can still move a little bit. Actually, he's so tiny, my fingers are probably just getting it all in the way. Oh, and head rotates. He is tiny, but he is mighty. So let's do the dump truck next. There is no assembly required on here. You just got to get it out. And here is Calvin's dump truck. And hopefully it's tiny, but hopefully the camera is focusing on it. As you can see, there's a lot of detail in here, a lot of grooves. There's no indention on the top of the dump truck. It's not like anything can ride in the dump truck, which is the case with the, actual full-size Zord. The wheels do roll, though, so you have a fully functioning vehicle that can roll here. And rolls pretty well. So there you go. There's some assembly required with the dragon, so let's get that out. Alright, cutting the dragon open here. Alright, let's see here. Got my little dragon top here. Let's see. No, I can't open his jaw. That's just the way things are. You can't have everything in life, and so apparently there is no version, or at least no version I have of this thing where you can actually open its jaw, which just seems like that would be a minimum requirement for something like this. But it's all good. He's got plenty of other articulation. Let's see. Not entirely certain how this is supposed to work. Alright, I figured it out. So the dragon has a little hole in the bottom of his torso, and you plug the pointy thing into the hole. Alright, you just gotta plug him in there securely. Just gotta get him in there right, and he should be good. Okay, so for his wings, you actually have these little extensions right here, and you put those on, and should pop in here, and whoa, that's actually really cool. So he's got some articulations even on the wings themselves. That's nice. That is actually really nice. So let me do that with the other wing. Sorry, just getting distracted. That's just a really nice added little feature. Let's see. Let me make sure I'm on the right side. Yeah, I am. Oh, there we go. All right. So let's see here. How articulated are we? He's got some articulated arms. His head, he can look around. That's for sure. So that's cool. Yeah, that's kind of what I wanted. Yeah. So there is no hand sticking out of his butt here. This is the Dragon Zord flying. So that is pretty darn cool. So for the train, there's a hole at the bottom, and there's a little plug at the top of the connector unit, and you pop that in. So there's all obviously a back end to Sarah's train here, and do the same thing with it. And so now we have Pink Ranger's train. So that's pretty cool. And it will if I can get it on camera, it rolls. It doesn't roll as well as the dump truck, but it rolls. And last but not least, of course, is the reason I got this, the dog. So let's see how Kodiak Zord does here. And he does definitely have articulation. Look at that, children. All right. So his legs move. Head moves. Head moves to the side. So that is awesome. And legs move in the back, of course. Tail non-articulated. But here we go. So we now have an articulated Kodiak Zord. So obviously these are not made in proportion to each other. There is no way that Kodiak Zord is going to fit in Sarah's train here, even if it did have the opening at the top, which of course it does not. So yeah, that is a detractor, you know, if you're a stickler for show accuracy. Also, they do not merge together, but by God, you've got an articulated Kodiak Zord. Obviously, they're very small compared to their Power Rangers counterparts. As far as limitations on this figure, I would really love to be able to pull his arm out sideways so I could do pose like this with him. Unfortunately, there's just no way to do that type of articulation with this particular figure. You can do just about everything else though, but nothing like that, or a kick to the side or anything like that. You just can't really move the legs and arms to the sides. For the blue dragon, it's cool he can look side to side, but I really would love for him to be able to look up so I could give more of a natural pose like he's flying. Would be really cool. And just, looking up is a really cool thing to be able to do. Also would have been nice if the wings could have flapped as opposed to just folding at the side here. But obviously, any movement in the wings is a big step up because we don't have any. But this isn't necessarily the most useful movement. I would have preferred to be able to, make them flap or, move up and down, things like that. And they broke my heart a little bit on the train because it's obviously missing the star on here, which is a big signature of Sarah's train. So that broke my heart on my girl Zord there. Oh, it's still pretty cool to have a miniature, but the train is definitely not the big draw for this set. The articulation on the dog is pretty decent. It would have been great to get knee articulation, but obviously on a figure this size, I don't necessarily expect anyone to put out a deluxe Kodiak Zord. I would be the only person who would probably be buying it. Also, it would have been great if the head could have looked up more, like on the actual real Zord. But it is pretty darn cool that he can move, though. That is a pretty cool thing. So overall, this set has its gives and takes. I don't know if it's quite as good as I thought it would be as far as some of the poses I wanted to do, but it's $15. I can't really complain for that amount of money. I think it's infinitely worth that to get 5 Zords that are miniatures, but they are more articulated than the big ones. So, if you're in the market, you got $15 and you want to get these from an importer, go for it. Just keep in mind that they are not, cure-alls for everything that ails the Zords this season. All right, like and subscribe for more videos, and I'll be back with more Power Rangers videos. And until next time, may the power protect you.